All right, welcome everybody to Love Coach Live, where we talk about dating, we talk about relationships, we talk about love. Welcome to the show. I'm your man KTJ, Kelvin Troy Johnson, a dating and relationship coach known as the Love Coach of Atlanta. But I serve the world everywhere. And you know what? We had a little technical difficulties. We don't have our TikTok live folks here, but we have you here. So, and I got my people here. So come on in, hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, hit the follow button if you're watching on Facebook, so you can get all this good, juicy knowledge when it comes to dating, relationships, love, connection, all that good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about it tonight. We're talking about rebound relationships. How do you know if you are in a rebound relationship? If you're in a rebound relationship, should you take them back? Should you go back? What is up with that? So I brought my friends along tonight. So I'm gonna bring you guys in and tell the folks your name, who you are, what you do, and tell me your first thought about rebound relationship. So Yuri, you're up.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. Um, Rebound relationships mean you're not in a relationship.
Tell them who you are.
Oh, my name is Sayuri Smith Timmons. I am a certified peer support specialist, and I help women transition out of sex work. Work with a lot of different nonprofits, and I talk to women about relationships a lot. So I'm really excited about this topic.
Good stuff. What's your thought?
My thought is, if you're in a rebound relationship, it's not, you can't call it. Can you call it a relationship if it's a rebound?
Some people do.
That's the question to me. It's like, okay, if we rebounding, like, are we really together? I
Okay.
don't know. I'm pretty technical. I'm not gonna hold up all the time. I'm gonna let everybody else introduce themselves.
Oh, we gonna work it out good. Who's next up? Go ahead, Marion. Tell them who you are.
Hey everybody, I'm Marion Tyler. I'm Marion Newman from Mississippi. I'm a licensed mental health therapist here in out of Jackson, Mississippi for Marion Counseling Services. Rebound relationships, it sounds more like because I'm a basketball fanatic, of course I'm gonna go to the sport of basketball. A rebound is something that didn't happen. They tried to make the shot, it didn't happen, and it's a struggle to always get that rebound back in and make the shot. So, in a rebound relationship, my first thought is it didn't make it. It didn't make it the first time, and I don't know if it's worth it. Keep trying, but if it's not, you'll know if it's a rebound, if a rebound relationship works or not. It'll be easy to put it back in the basket. If not, don't try it.
Okay, brother O.
What's up? What's up? My name is Olamont Roberson. First, let me give a loving shout out to my brother, the love coach of Atlanta. Always good to see you, man. Listen, I wanted to start by saying that I really think that rebound love is quite possible. That rebound relationship is definitely something that people find themselves in. But a little bit about me: I'm a trained mental health professional, published author of one book entitled Love Nuggets, and a thought leader when it comes to Black love and relationship. So I'm excited about the conversation, and I'm ready to get it going. Does it exist? Yes. Is it possible? Absolutely, Coach.
Okay, so look, I noticed how all of y'all took this stance. So now let me kind of define what rebound relationships are really about. Okay, so like Marion said, it's kind of like basketball. You were in this relationship, you were going along, and all of a sudden something happened. Somebody broke up with somebody, and you decided, you know what? It's better if we just go our separate ways. And for some reason, the next week, in 2 weeks, somebody's in a new relationship with somebody else. And just like that, they're gone and they're off to the next, just like that. No break, no, nothing in between. They're just on to the next relationship. That is the rebound relationship. Okay. Now I know some people who I know a guy who actually left one relationship, started another relationship. Now, look, the last relationship was a long-term boyfriend situation. Okay, together like 5 years, and he refused to marry her. Left her, married the next one in like 2 or 3 weeks, right? And in his mind, he was thinking, you know what? This now she's who I needed. She is the one. She was what I needed all along, right? That is until he settled into the relationship and realized, wait a minute. I got the same problems. I got the same issues. I got this things, but it's with a new person, and it starts to fall apart. And for this guy actually like married the person. So now he's really stuck in a rebound relationship. And you know how we do. We don't want to admit that we was wrong. Look, we're not admitting that we were wrong, right? So what do you got to do? You got to stay in it, and you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What you think, Marion? Go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah. Let her take it.
It's like this. Sir, you had 6 years, and see, 6 is my number because that's what happened to me. So I'm not gonna let me help not take this personal a little bit. But you was doing all this for 6 years, right? And then, but you couldn't figure out. But the real issue is that you was trying to find somebody to accommodate you. You're not trying to figure out who you can actually build with and grow with. You're trying to figure out who will accommodate you. So the person in the beginning, they always gonna do that. And so you want to jump with 2 feet on the next person that's gonna do, and you don't even understand that's the honeymoon. She don't even know who you are. You don't even know who she is. But you jumped in with 2 feet because she was new and different, and she don't know all your flaws.
Yeah.
So now you stuck with somebody else, and now you hate all her flaws. But now you see how the other one felt when she was with you. But go ahead.
No.
Because it's like, why wasn't she putting pressure on him to marry? It's like, because I know you're not the one either. I'm just biding my time too. I don't feel sorry for the one who was with him for 6 years because she like free. She free. Because it sounds he not married, but he not a husband anyway.
Yeah. But she didn't want to be free. She wanted him to act right, act like a husband, and then be, ask her.
I don't want nobody to act. I don't want nobody to act like that. I need you to be. Go ahead. I need you to be.
Well, I've always heard that the person that you meet at first is not you. Really, you, it's your representative. So if that's I think you talked about that one time, Kelvin, that's not really you, that's your representative. And you have a few months until that real person comes out. A rebound person is somebody that's just, reaching to fill a void. There's an emptiness, there's a void, because to be with somebody 5 or 6 years, that's an emotional connection. Because I'm a therapist, I'm always going to talk about the connection, the emotional connection. And then for you to already marry somebody else in a matter of 2 or 3 months, that's kind of like not you showing up, that's your representative. That's not her showing up, that's her representative. And then on down the line, you are going to run into that problem. So in during the rebound stage, everybody ought to just sit still to see how the ball going to go, just to see how it's going to go.
Oh, talk to me.
So I got a couple thoughts, Coach. First, let me start by saying I think that there's been some good things that have been said. I think that when we jump from one relationship to the next without taking a break, it speaks to something that is unhealthy within ourselves that needs to be addressed. So I definitely think that that's important. The second thing I'll say is I think that when someone is in a relationship for a long standing span of time, and they choose not to marry that person, I think that we automatically assume that the person that they left was somebody that they actually should have chosen. And the truth of the matter is that's not always the case. Sometimes we date someone for years and years for good reasons and for bad reasons, and we choose to move on. And that was because we made the decision that that person wasn't the one. And it's okay. It's okay for that person not to be the one, even though you dated them for a ridiculous amount of time. The
Mhm.
challenge is in the moving on process, it's important that we get the skills, get the tools, get the resources, and seek the help so that we can be healthy moving on to the next person. And I think that in this situation, when it comes to a rebound, generally people don't take the time to do that, and it causes a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I
That's
got a question about that right quick because it's like when I think of rebound, I think of going back and forth for some reason. I think of the cycle where people break up and then they get with somebody else in between and they always find their way back to each other too. Like
right.
that's yeah.
Look, and
So
that's part of the danger of the rebound. You
It's
get
dangerous.
somebody
Yeah.
who just got out of a relationship, they not even finished yet. You
Right.
know, and so sometimes now there's categories for this. One of the categories for the person who's leaving this relationship and meeting somebody else, a lot of times they go towards the person that's called the low hanging fruit. And
Mm.
you
yeah.
know who the low hanging fruit is. It's them people that just been hanging around. They just maybe it was an old boyfriend from before then, or an old girlfriend, or that shorty that just been waiting for the opportunity.
Just waiting.
It's just been
Mhm.
hanging out in the mid. Look, I call them.
Yep.
I had a name for them, call it helicopter women. Or
Oh,
men. They just like
hovering.
circle
Yeah.
and hover and just waiting for that opportunity
Hovering.
to get waved in.
Hmm.
Traffic controller, come on in.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do want to say this though. I think that sometimes we give ourselves a hard way to go, or we give people a hard way to go when they date someone for years and years and choose not to marry them. My experience has helped me to see, not only personally, but also in talking with other couples, that sometimes the reason why we haven't gone to the next level of relationship with someone we've dated for years and years is because we have unconsciously ignored and sometimes consciously ignored the fact that the timing might not be right. It is quite possible to date someone for years, move
Hmm.
on, have a separate relationship, and then discover that new relationship doesn't work out, and then circle the block, if you will, and go back to the person that they dated for years and still have a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see and the challenge with this is we can see this in examples like Steve Harvey and Marjorie, who I think is an amazing example of this. They
I love
dated
it.
early on, met each other early on, things didn't work out. They met someone else, married that person. Both of them had children in that relationship, and then
Those
turned
are
around and
rebounds.
went back to that the went back to each other. So I think it's possible. I think that we have a lot of negative connotations about it because we assume that when you meet someone, things are supposed to go well. You're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
go through this matriculation process, and when that doesn't happen, we have a lot of problems with that. And so I think that I just want to shed light on the truth that it's possible to date someone for a season, and it'd be a long season, and things not work out, but you can still come back together and have a healthy relationship.
Facts. What's that face for, Siri?
It's the difference between a rebound and a revisit. I mean, like if you like went and got in a whole marriage, both of y'all went and got married to somebody else, y'all had a life, y'all. That's not a rebound. That's not a rebound. Like, okay, a rebound is like we broke up. I'm finna get with you. I'm with you for a little minute, and I'm still looking back over here. Like, is you back ready? Did you get your life together? Are you ready for me yet? Did you grow into what I need you to be so I can get? Okay, so I feel like you did it. You doing what I need you to do. Okay, I gotta leave you alone because she over. You know what I'm saying? It's like the back and forth. It's like having like two legs and like one leg over here, one leg over there, and just trying to figure out where you're gonna pivot. You see, Marion, you got me talking about basketball, but
Yeah.
like just
Yeah,
trying
the
to figure out
rebound.
like how
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the pivoting, like but when you like go and get married, the relationship it died and you went and like made something else happen and y'all have a whole new life, then that to me is not rebounding. I don't know if that's rebounding.
Well, either way, it's going back and forth, and it's going from one to the other. That's
Okay.
kind of the definition of the rebound
Okay.
situation. But Marion, what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say the rebound is actually the person who's new in the relationship, the new person that this couple has met. The rebound person is that person. And that person should be the one who's asking the questions about how long y'all been together. Are you still in love with that person? You
Yes.
got to think about the kids, baby mama drama, all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, because men they over too. They're still stalking and looking around. I don't care how prestigious they are. I don't care how educated those men are. They be back in the cut watching us, looking and trying to see what we're doing. So it's kind of like they're trying to. This couple is broke up, trying to move on, but that person is still in their spirit, and they're not
Yes.
over that person. So you're hooking up with somebody who that's the rebound person, and that
That's
person is
right.
in a lot of trouble if they don't make a good assessment about why is this guy in my life, or why am I talking to this female, why are you here? And if they don't make a good assessment about it, it could end really bad, and that person can really get hurt, because as she was saying earlier, they kind of go back together and they hook up, and the person that didn't play the rebound part good enough, they always get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that a person that's in this rebound situation, the person who goes on to the next person, you know, when a relationship ends, it's almost like you got to go through a grief period, almost as if you died, right?
Yes.
Got to go through
Correct.
times where you got to learn the lesson. You have to get the anger out that it didn't happen, or the frustration out that, you know, I put all my all into this, and this is what happens. See, this is why I don't believe in love. Like, you got to get all of that, all of the bitterness out, and that takes time. You cannot rush healing. What you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that when you part ways with somebody that you've been dating for a while, there is a season where you need to just kind of chill, just be with yourself, be with your own thoughts, be with your own feelings, and acknowledge those things, and very likely process that stuff with a trained professional who can help you kind of sort through those thoughts and feelings. Because oftentimes, regardless of who you are, male and female alike, however you identify, oftentimes there are feelings of rejection and feelings of sadness and depression and as you said, grief that need to be addressed, so that you can move on in a healthy way. One of the reasons why people do it so quickly, and they rebound in its most traditional sense by quickly finding someone else and that new relationship being the rebound. If that's the definition, one of the reasons why people do that is because they don't want to sit with those feelings. They don't want to
Right.
sit with those emotions. They
Yeah.
don't want to sit with that disappointment and frustration.
Yeah.
All right, so check this out, you guys. I got 10 signs of a rebound relationship. Somebody hopefully get some notes. We got our friends Renee Meekins is jumping in. She said that's why people can't rush relationships either. All right, Natasha Jackson is in the building. She said, is there a suggested time frame a person should wait before getting back out there? We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So let me give you guys the 10 signs of a rebound relationship. I found this online. Number one, they've had recent romantic breakup. Right? These are the 10 signs. So these are the 10 signs that if you are starting to see somebody, these are the things that you should be looking out for. If they've just come out of if they're involved in a rebound situation. All right. Number two, they just want a casual relationship. The sign of a rebound relationship. Number three, they make sex the focus. Number four, they want to make their ex jealous. You know,
Yes.
you know that's it. They are bitter or angry. If they're still bitter, they're still angry. Talk about their ex. They are on the rebound. Number six, they are with you only for companionship. Only for companionship. Number seven, they have their ex around frequently. All right. Number eight, they contact you only when they're upset. Nine, they never get to know you personally. You never meet. And number 10, the relationship is going nowhere. If you guys could chime in on any. What do y'all think about this list? What stood out to you on this list that I just read?
One that stuck out to me the most is they only want for companionship. They just want company. They just don't want to be bored. They just want somebody to talk to, somebody to play with, somebody to have sex with. I just need you to feel this. I don't really want to get to know you. But they don't say it. They just do it very subtly. You can't, if you're not sharp enough, you won't pick it up, and you'll honestly think that this person likes you or is interested. But they just want company. Somebody to come over my house, and they're not interested in your family. They're not interested in your children, your life, what you're doing. Who cares? Just want company. Somebody to fulfill that void.
Yeah, good stuff. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Here's what I'll say. One I didn't like is the one about being angry, and here's why. I think that sometimes hurt from a previous relationship can be so injurious. It can be so harmful to us that it takes years for us to recover from it and get to a place where we're not upset, where we're not angry about things that happened in the last relationship. Am I saying that can't be an indicator? No, I think that it can be. But I would really begin to process with the partner around the distance, the amount of time that they've had since that relationship ended, before immediately saying, well, you're still angry about that, so this is about to be a rebound relationship, and I don't want that, because I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that, unfortunately, sometimes people hurt each other in ways that really last a long time. And so I like the list, but I wouldn't use that as a number one key indicator, but a part of the list as one of the things that can be an indicator.
Yeah. So you said, go ahead, sir.
I think it's a huge red flag for somebody to continuously be focused on whether or not their ex is jealous of the person that they're with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, you gonna get me shot? Like, what are we doing? Like, why is she so mad? And why do you care that she's mad? And like, why is the goal to get her mad? I got to go. Like, that's a crazy red flag. Like, but then at the same time, I know of people who thrive on just being better. I'm just being able to say, I'm the better woman. I won. It's like, you weren't even fighting with her. He left. They broke up. That had nothing to do with you. And now he got with you. And now you feel like you better than her, but you don't even understand what's wrong with him to make, you don't even know what you got. And some people like actually thrive on just being chosen. Oh, he picked me. It's like, it wasn't a choice between you and him. She actually left him, and now you're here.
Yeah.
And he wants her back. So he's hoping that you will make her come back. And you want to fight her for what? But yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Women get caught in this trap a lot, right?
It's dumb.
And one is that women are so competitive that
not me.
Look, nobody.
Look, wait a minute. Let me tell you, I'm not competing. Wait. Go ahead.
Look. It may be you, right?
Oh,
but women are often so competitive, right? Nobody wants to look like a fool. Nobody wants to look like you lost, and she won the prize. You won the man, and
define lost. Define lost.
Exactly.
Because if he is on my nerves and you got him, ma'am, I won. You're welcome. You feel like you won, but I'm not getting ready to pull. I don't do the tug of war with no person. We don't do that. That's not it. And plus, I mean, if you haven't been under a rock, people are killing each other when they leave a relationship. Like, they killing the next person. Like, that's not. Yeah.
I can tell you, don't play this game. If there's somebody that's listening to this and like you, but this, don't play this game, because actually do get murdered. And I didn't mean to see that. Hope I ain't messed that up in the algorithm. But some people get wiped out, get rubbed out, behind some of this stuff. I watched First 48 one time. I never forgot it. They had this thing called Graveyard Love.
Oh,
yeah, you ever heard of graveyard?
I don't like that. What is that?
Yeah, Graveyard Love means I'm gonna love you until you go in the ground, and you gonna love me until I go in the ground. And if you don't, you going in the ground.
Oh
That's
God,
not funny.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
I don't want to live.
they had a cake on there, and this guy to the girl's house. He said, "You know what? I had enough of this. I'm done with you. I'm finished. You know what? I'm just finished with you." And he left the girl's house. She said, "You ain't finished with me." He said, "Yes, I am." And he turned his back to walk out the door. She went up there in the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and stabbed him right in his back.
Jesus.
And kept stabbing him. Boom, 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 boom. My man turned around like, "I can't believe you stabbed me," and passed out. Never will.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Whew.
Real case
yeah.
that really happened. And so this could be dangerous. It could be
It's
very
dangerous.
It's really it's hard. Listen, I don't condone that at all. But the emotional effects with being alone when you don't learn how to express your emotions, and you don't learn and you're afraid to be alone, that can actually drive you to a place. Because I do know of a client that I had was just so afraid to be alone. She just
Mhm,
did
mhm,
not want to be by herself without that man. And I
mhm,
had to understand her, and validate her feelings, but at the same time, just teaching her how to cope. But being alone without a man, that is, was something she was not gonna do. And it was this
mhm,
particular guy that she did not want to live without. She said, "I'm always thinking about where he is, what he's doing, who he's talking to." So that overthinking, and when they don't learn how to like rationalize their emotions, or
Mm.
um, all those things could trigger. And I mean, I could see that happening. I
Yeah,
could see that happen.
yeah, yeah. It's high and managing those emotions.
Yeah.
That there is everything.
It is.
Go ahead, oh. Would you,
Yeah, I love what's been said already. I don't really disagree. I think if I were to add anything to this list, coach, that you're sharing with us,
mhm,
it would not only be if someone is still angry or they're trying to make them jealous, but if you notice that they are a constant part of the conversation, they always have to bring their ex up in conversation. This
mhm,
is a clear indicator that you are probably about to embark upon a rebound relationship, and you might want to avoid that, because when people are constantly talking about their ex, especially if it's in a negative light,
mhm.
it's not to say, well, in my previous relationship, this is the lessons that I've learned, but
Mhm.
instead it's to say that person did this and that person did that. It's a
Yes.
clear indicator that there's something wrong, and you might want to push pause.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not finished emotionally.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you can move on, and some people ask. I've been asked this a few times because you guys know my background's in working with men, with males for 15 years, social work, men in the church fraternity, always working with men, and so somebody asked me, they was like, how do you know with these guys? How do you know what's really going on, and if a person is really over the ex, these guys, and she happened to be talking about the guys. I said, you know what? If you sit down to the table and you ask them, so tell me about your last relationship, or I hate that question anyway for a dating table question, but if they ask that question and the person goes into, oh, you know what? Sheesh. You know what? She did this. She did that. She did the other thing. And you wouldn't believe how terrible she was. I can't stand her. Or if it's a lady, I can't stand him. I hate him. Have you ever hated somebody? Do you know what the opposite of hate is?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
The,
it's
op-
just everybody.
the opposite of hate is not love. The opposite of hate is
Mhm.
I don't care. Like flat out,
That's
no,
good.
no emotion. You know somebody is really free when they just be like, you know what? Phew,
Man.
I wish him the best.
Who? Oh, yeah. Well,
It it happened.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
next.
yeah.
Indifference.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Shonda got it. The opposite of hate is indifference when you
Yeah.
don't.
Kevin,
That's good.
my personal answer to that was, I don't even have energy to talk about that. I just don't want to talk about that. I don't have energy for it.
Yeah.
I don't even give energy for that.
Yeah. When I'm coaching the guy, I say, don't even. What you asking her about another man for? You want her to think about him, or you want her to think about you?
Mm.
So don't.
You know, a lot of times when people feel like, well, if you left them, then they weren't good enough. But it's like, don't, like you just said, like, don't bring them up because, like, you don't know how that ended and you don't know why they broke up. Like, you could be sending her back to him, or even just asking her to describe him. It's like, yeah, you know what? Let me call. I got to call him. Like, you know, I'll be right back.
Look, who like they fought like cats and dogs on over everything except sex. So you get to telling the story about how much you hate him, and you say, you know what, we was just great in the sack, and then you start reminiscing about how great it was in the sack, and you say, oh, well, you know what, I'm not feeling too good. I'm gonna go.
Sleepy. I'm sleepy.
Late.
Woo!
I gotta stop the meet.
Oh wow.
Leave that alone.
Yeah, and then you back to school. All right, so check this out, you guys. I got 7 stages after a breakup. We're gonna get to answering that question of how much time should go by. Reasonably time should go by before getting into a new relationship. But check out these 7 stages after breakup. Got 7 stages for you guys. Check it out. The first one is shock. Shock is an immediate reaction right after a breakup. If you're just ended, chances are you're still in shock and unable to deal with at the moment. Has anybody ever been in shock or can identify with just that feeling, that immediate empty feeling that it's over? Anybody?
I think if you got dumped, you're in shock. But if you're the one that's doing the dumping, nope, you're not shocked. You're like, I'm done.
Yeah. Shock. All right. The next one is denial. The second stage, followed by shock, is denial. Denial is a common reaction to conditions and circumstances. You refuse to accept reality and bottle up your emotions.
Okay, so I have had an experience, like you said, Marion, like, okay, I'm the one that's breaking up. They are in denial. That's a scary place to be because you're like, I don't understand like what level I have to get to communicating with you where I am with it. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I can't let you be in denial because you're going to start, you're not going to let me go. Because like when I see you, I don't want you to see me. You see? So we're not together. See? I need you to understand it, right? And then if they're like in denial, it's kind of like now I got to say some mean stuff to you to make you not like me, which might backfire and hurt me because now we're going to fight or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the denial part for the person that's not in denial is scary.
Yeah, because this is also where that somebody starts stalking your page and they just looking to see who's liking your photos and contacting people. Oh, I didn't like what you said to such and such, and like it's getting crazy.
So here's what I'll say. I have been the guy in denial, so I know what it feels like to be like.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, we got a witness.
Yeah, I have been the guy in denial, just not really believing that the relationship was over, and it took me a little while to. What I will say is this: I don't think that it is the person who is doing the dumping. I don't agree with any idea or thought that it is that person's responsibility to convince the person who's in denial, convince me that the relationship is over. I think that if we're going to break up with someone, if we're going to move on with a new person, all we can do is say, "Hey, listen, this relationship is over, and I'm gonna go my way, and you go yours," and then we set healthy boundaries and safeguards in place to help communicate those thoughts and ideas. And the reason why I say that is because if you begin to get in this cycle where you have to somehow convince someone or show someone that the relationship is over, you begin to invest more energy into a relationship that is already over. If that person is not responding in a way that lets you know that they understand and agree that the relationship is over, when you set those healthy boundaries, they will eventually get the picture. And if necessary, there are additional enforcements and parameters that you can put in place to keep that person away from you. But you don't, it is
See,
not your job to convince them, and it is not my job to convince anyone else that the relationship is over. When I say it's over, it's over.
That's it.
right, right. But I mean, but when you say that, right, you're assuming that the other person is a healthy person, right? Like you're saying healthy boundaries as if they're healthy. Like I have to tell you, hey,
Healthy or
don't
not,
show up to my
healthy or not,
job. Don't show up to
healthy or
my
not,
job. You're
healthy or
like
not.
okay, so this is what I'm saying. I have to, because you pulling up on me at my job with flowers and smiling like I'm happy to see you, and I just told you I'm not with you. So now I got to tell you I'm not with you. What you
Yeah.
mean? Like
No,
I
no,
got to let you know. You know what I'm saying? Like I need you to
Yeah, I
no, you
agree
understand
with
don't.
both of
that you
y'all.
pulling up at my job. You know,
No, you
you coming
don't.
to my job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking
No,
about.
man. No,
But
man.
wait a
If you say to somebody the relationship is over and then they show up with flowers, you call the police.
Oh, I ain't have
And
to
then
call
you
the police. Well, I was working at a
and
club, so the security actually
there
dragged
you
them
go.
out and
Well,
banned
then
them.
there you go.
But the but
Then you
but the
call
point.
security.
Well, I ain't have to call security because he was making a fool out of himself. But the point is, like, he showed up where I was after I had convinced. I was like, I had did a lot of explaining to help him understand because we had went back and forth. But I'm saying, okay, this is not a back and forth. I need you to understand. Don't pull up on me or nothing. And so
right.
when he did, then he was met with the consequence. And I tried to help him prevent that situation, but that wasn't on me. So you're right on that part. But I
So
was trying to help him,
check this
and I was
out.
also 19. But yeah,
Look, but sometimes some of the women, and I'm sure some of you ladies have heard women say this. I just want him to fight for me. Why won't
what?
you? Why won't you fight for me? So
Oh,
so
that's
so
dysfunctional.
you just walk off like O just said. You know, she said it's over. She said, you know
That's
what?
right. Now I agree.
And he said, and you just say, okay, and you just walk away. She be like, why
What
won't
am I,
you
child
fight for
legal?
you really didn't want to be with me anyway. So then there's that.
Yeah, and Coach, I have heard this 1,000 times. I
That's
believe that
true.
it really is it is deeply rooted in our culture and society, and that is a societal norm that many of us, especially those of us who identify as Black or African American, where you have to put a little pressure. That's the new term for it. But the old school term was play hard to get. But I'm of the new school notion as a thought leader in Black love and relationship. I challenge that idea. If somebody is playing any kind of game with you, i.e., hard to get, you need to let them get gone. Let them stay where they at. Because in 2022, getting ready 3 months away from 2023, we're a little too old for us to be pretending like we don't want somebody when we do want somebody. And for those of us who are 30 and older and looking for love and relationship, we too damn old to be out here trying to act like we don't want love when in fact we really do. And so
Yep.
what you described, Coach, is so true, and it is still common today. Putting a little pressure, playing hard to get these kinds of things. But I really believe that if you want somebody, you need to show them, and if they want you, they will reciprocate that, and that's where we need to do that because. You ain't tried hard enough, and you didn't work hard enough for my love, and all these kinds of things. These are games that children play.
Yep.
Mm, yes, yes. So let me
Yes.
move on. Let me move on to number three. The third on this list of the 7 stages after a breakup is isolation.
Yeah.
Once you're out of the denial phase, you get into the process of dealing with relationship dissolution. Dissolution. Okay. A recent breakup may make you replay the memories of the relationship over and over again in your head, trying to find a reason why it fell apart. You yearn to pinpoint the exact moment things started going downhill, and how you trying to figure out how the bond could have been saved. So this is you do this in isolation. You start trying to figure it out, and you just ruminating over it and ruminating over it. You still come up really without the right answer, right? So what do y'all think about that? Isolation.
So I'll go first this time. Here's what I'll say. I think that the stage of isolation after breakup can be an incredibly beautiful stage. It can be an incredibly beautiful stage for a person because if the relationship ended, uh, that means that there is an opportunity for something new and more beautiful to come along
Hmm.
if you choose to look at it from that perspective. The
Right.
second thing I'll say is generally, the same way it takes two people to make a baby and it takes two people to tango, as they say, it generally takes two people for a relationship to end. So the person who is experiencing this isolation has an opportunity to say, you know what are some things that I can do better? What are some things that I did wrong in that relationship? What are some things that I did that led to the breakup or the downfall of that relationship? And therein that lies the beauty because that's when growth can begin to happen. So this isolation stage doesn't have to be the worst experience ever, but a lot of times for people it is because they spend excessive amounts of time ruminating either on the fact that that person is leaving and not thinking about areas where they can grow, or uh, B, they're thinking so much about areas that they can grow that they are constantly criticizing themselves for what they did wrong. So there really
Mm.
needs to be this healthy balance, but it is a powerful place where a person can really begin to grow and begin to see things from a different perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And that's definitely true. So there's a time, I believe, for isolation and a time for you to learn, get comfortable with yourself and get back into life. Right. Because see, sometimes in that isolation period, you stop going on social media because you don't want to see no happy couples. you look, you turn the radio off because you don't want to hear no another sad love song. Look, and then you can really look. This can be good. Like O said, it could be good or bad in this situation where you have isolation. Isolation can give you a time to just pause and reflect on you and
Yeah.
start to work on you. You know,
Mhm.
or on the negative side, it can kind of move you towards a dark place if you're not careful. Go ahead, Marion.
Yeah, you know, in isolation, you can find out who you are really because when
Mm,
you're in a relationship as a woman, we kind of lose ourselves in the man, and I know they kind of lose themselves as well. You know, I started to take on a lot of things that I wouldn't normally do, or ways that my mom didn't teach me. I started to do some things that were taught in my ex-husband's life, or in any relationship. A woman will start taking on a new identity, but in isolation, you can actually figure out. And I'm looking like that because that's what happened to me. I found out who I really was. Like,
mm,
man, that's my personality, and this is who I am. And I started liking myself again. Like me, you
mm.
know. But I had learned so many ways to be like the first lady and the this and the that till I wasn't marrying anymore.
Mm.
And then in isolation, I learned that, oh man, I am cool. I am. So isolation was very healthy for me. It was healthy for me, and as it could be for so many people, like you were saying, Kelvin, if we take it the right way. But we have to want to be healthy ourselves, even if we're not healthy. I started reading self-help books, reading everything. That's how I found you on Facebook, just looking through things, trying to learn things because I'm 51 and dating is not the same. So I even have to learn how to date again. I'm like, he talking to me? Like, I don't get the cues. Let me learn how to pick up. So I had to learn how to love myself again and then learn how to date again.
Yeah, yeah. That's powerful. That's powerful. Tanisha West Sinclair. She said, isolation has reminded me of who I am. All right. Thank you guys for this message. Great panel. Good stuff. Somebody's feeling you, Marion. They feeling your message. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So look, let's move on. The next one is anger. In this phase, your heart goes from gloominess to anger.
Yeah.
It becomes fueled with rage towards your ex for his or her part in the breakup, or perhaps towards yourself for your part. Many people indulge in reckless behavior by burning old pictures and holding their ex's stuff hostage and all of that good stuff there. The reason for all of this is to find something or someone to blame. They're angry through this end of the breakup. So they said try to pin it down or seek some therapy, see a therapist, a psychologist, somebody, but try your best not to act on your anger. How about that? Somebody talk to me.
Yeah. The anger when people are angry at their ex and they try to get with somebody new and then it starts to show up, it's kind of like, well, you do this the same way as it's like, wait, because I put my shoe on. She put her shoes on too? Like, no, I'm not finna do this with you. I put a shoe on. Oh, she got them same shoes. Like, guess what? You're mad. I put my shoe on. Like, they don't have to, like for me, like I was in therapy since I'm not a mental health professional, but I've been in therapy since I was a child. And so I feel like that has helped me understand and help people understand their feelings. And so even if you have a nurturing spirit, a lot of women end up with people who have anger issues because they're able to, like, they want to nurture you through it and they want to help you with the anger, but they're putting themselves in danger with somebody else's anger. Actually, danger is anger with a D in front. But anyway, so it's like you like you get with somebody and you think you're helping them and you want to, like, okay, I'm thinking about the person that is coming in contact with the angry person. And you're like, it's okay, I'm here to help you. That's not what you do. That's not what you say. But that's what happens a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Anger. So, what I find interesting about that is that kind of going through the stages, you go from gloomy to anger. It's like you go from down and feeling sorry for yourself to, you know what? You know what?
Yeah, man,
I'm done with this. And but you know what? But look, I'm gonna find the positive part of this anger, right? You start burning the pictures and all of that. But for some people, that's what you need to do. Like you need to. I tell my clients, look, get everything that reminds you of that person that you got laying around in the house. Get it out. It's got to go. And some of that stuff might hurt for you to let go, but it's better for you to let it go, and just give it away. Take it down there. Get you a nice big bag and take it all down there to Goodwill. They'll be happy to see it. But you got to get it out of your house. Get rid of the pictures. And yeah, you ever see them stars when they break up with somebody? Like they was who was that? Somebody recent. What's my man name? Married the preacher and the actress. What's Megan? Yeah. Look, the next day, her whole profile was totally different. She took down every picture, everything, no semblance of him at all on her profile.
Megan said, "Oh, I'm gonna hire somebody to do this. It's gonna be done in 24 hours."
Yes, he cleared the deck.
So
Out of sight, out of
here's
mind.
what I'll say about here's what I'll say about anger. I like the last part of what you said, Coach, and I think that there's some truth to it. I agree that anger can be very, very powerful and dangerous, but if harnessed properly, just like all of our other emotions, it can really be used in a powerful way to do some good for us by doing some of that cleansing and some of that purging that is necessary in order to move on to a new relationship. So I love that you said that. I think that it is it's a double-edged sword, if you will, because on the one hand, you can really hurt somebody or really be hurt by somebody. If you are not thinking clearly and seeking support and leaning on other people in your community. But on the other hand, you can really do some healthy cleansing and purging that allows you to be your best first for yourself and then for the next person that comes along.
Fact. All right, we almost through with this list. The number looks like number 5 is depression. Ooh. It says once the anger phase subsides, most people go into depression. Once you realize your losses, magnitude, dealing
Ooh,
emotions and reality can feel all too overwhelming. You may spend many days in a state of deep sadness that resembles mild depression. During this phase, recalling what your life was like before the relationship can be challenging. So, this is this is this is a big one, y'all. What do y'all think about this one? About depression, or just I'm a little slow about kind of using the word depression, since we come from mental health, because you can't really say it's depression unless you've been diagnosed as depression. But depression and the blues, they look real similar.
yeah.
Either way, yeah, it's going down. I'm going down.
In relationships, can y'all picture this? It's like, this is what I think about. It's like you fall in midair. It's kind of like we're working on this thing together as a couple, and I'm thinking that we're going, one of us in the relationship, we're climbing
Up the ladder.
and up the ladder, and the ladder is snatched from under me. So I'm here and I fall here.
Mm,
So I got to deal with this fall in mid walking,
mm,
in mid running, in we're growing, we're building this legacy we talk about. We're building this empire, and I got to stop midair, and I'm falling because I lost that partner, and I lost what we were building, and I lost it. And it's kind of like you're not only depressed because the relationship ended, you're depressed because of your stuff. Man,
mm,
I was on my way somewhere. I had this in mind, what I wanted to do with my daughter and my son, and now we're stopping what we were building from here to here overnight, or in 2 hours, it's done. So
mm,
it's kind of like a lot to just. I see why people fall into depression, because I dealt with it too. Because you stop midair in having your own business. We're working and we have this own business we're building, but now you're not here. We
mm.
stop midair, close the business. It's over. What?
I love that analogy of falling in the air, because I mean, like, do you know how your stomach feel, like how you feel emotionally when you're falling, like you're on a roller
Oh, you
coaster,
connected.
like the let down, like you're literally let down.
Yeah.
I think like you're mourning like the potential and like the plans, and like you have to literally like regroup, like you were talking about, and that's depressing because it takes so much to build a first plan.
Ooh,
And
Mm,
child.
then you think about the need, like, okay. And then when people come to the conclusion, well, I'm not gonna get with nobody, I'm gonna just move. It's like, it's so hard to be alone and build. It's like you're gonna build alone, like it's hard. So it's like you feeling like, I want to do this project by myself. I don't want to be in no group project no more, because they let me down. I need to just be self sufficient. And it's like you just get busy thinking about what you can do and not depending on anybody else, because they're gonna like you're just trying to prevent being blindsided again, to actually try to fight the depression. But that's a way to be depressed too, like to be overly working too,
mm. Yeah, yeah,
trying
yeah.
to look busy, like not looking sad, like, I ain't sad. Oh, I'm making it, I got to prove a point now.
Baby,
You know what
I'm
I'm saying? Well, he thought he was
good.
going to stop something. Oh, I'm still gonna do it. It's like, okay, you need to eat. You need to go to bed. It's like you oh no, no, because that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're depressed, and you have to let yourself be honest about how you actually feel about
Yeah.
what's happening. And it's like the pride come in, and your pride is, it's a lot
Yeah.
in the depression part.
Hey, yeah, yeah. So some of them pictures you see on people on Instagram, and they all, hey, you know, they acted all happy. Some of the people they not that happy.
And the person that want to see ain't looking.
Yeah, you saying that reminds me of a newer phenomena that's we've started to see happen a lot in the last 5 to 7 years, and that is divorce parties. Some of these people who having these divorce parties, you bless their heart, bless their heart. They just doing the best they can to move
Mm-hmm.
on the best way they know how. But the truth of the matter is, there is a stage called depression, and I like to suggest to you all and to our listeners that it probably is the most dangerous stage, because The depression stage, unlike the stage that we mentioned before, you can't spin those in a positive. If you notice, all of the stages we've talked about up until this point, there was a way that we can look at it from a positive lens that allows us to get something good from it. But when you depress, you depress.
Mm-hmm.
And, there isn't a lot you can do to get out of depression on your own. It requires sometimes going to therapy, and it requires sometimes taking medication. It requires changing your diet and getting sunlight and things like that. But in many cases, those of us who've been through a serious breakup or divorce or a loss of relationship know that sometimes only time can heal it.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes only time can heal it. So I think that the depression stage is probably the most dangerous stage because uh, it's hard to get out of that phase. Sometimes, Big Mom used to say, time heals all things. And in
yeah.
this case, that may be one of those times.
Oh, so this is where the rebound comes in.
And for
Yeah.
some people, and let me say this is where the rebound comes in, but I like to encourage people to consider, listen, you do not need to get under someone to get over
I
someone.
put the
Yeah,
word out of my
Okay.
mouth.
You
coming
don't
with
need to. You don't need to get up under somebody to get
I,
over
What
somebody.
they
We've
say.
heard it 1,000 times before, but we really believe there is a notion that a lot of us have that is exactly what you need to do to get past someone. And unfortunately, what that does is it really adds nuance and complexity to the things that we just talked about, to the depression, to the anger, to the isolation. It
sure.
adds complexity to it because now you've got all of these new bonds and connections happening in your heart, in your mind, and in your brain
Mm-hmm.
because you done laid with somebody and you haven't dealt with the last relationship that was yesterday, a week before,
Right.
10 minutes before. Some people, they don't waste no time. They just, well, anyway.
They like doop doop doop. What was that? What was that song Beyonce said? To the left, to the left.
Have another you by tomorrow. That's what she
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. He's on.
Tomorrow.
That's what she said. You must not know about me.
I can have another you.
Let me be quiet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So look. Just when you thought it couldn't get no worse, now we're going to go even deeper. The next one is emotional roller coaster. That feeling. Will I
Mm,
ever find true love? Will I ever be happy again?
Yeah.
If these questions cross your mind after a major depression phase, you're probably going through the emotional roller coaster stage of a breakup. This phase includes intense emotions, pain, guilt, self doubt, hope, depression, loneliness. One minute you feel energetic and like, hey, hey. And then you want to lie down and take a pillow and cry. It's like being on an roller coaster ride. So, what y'all think about that one? Emotional.
I see that so much, like when people, and I feel like addiction is in there some kind of way, because like people start like eating more, or like smoking, or like like drinking, or going out trying to be social and do things to all like mood altering and mind altering stuff. So it's kind of like now you're drinking, and it's like that's not even your personality, but now you're drinking, now you fighting people because you're really mad, but you can't be mad regular, so you got to go drink to get mad to show you mad. It's like, okay, you're trying to stuff it, or you're trying to prepare yourself for the up and down. It's like, okay, I'm feeling down, I need to get myself back up. A lot of people drink to get back up, but then it's like because you're actually sad, you're actually going to go back way down, or go back down to like anger, or down to being gloomy, and then it's kind of like counterproductive.
Mm-hmm.
I think the emotional roller coaster is why there's a such thing as a rebound. It's like, I hate you. Wait a minute, I do like you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, let me just call her. Let me just call him back because we'll just get past it. It's like, but what about the person that you just got on the date with? That you sitting up here eating this man food that he just, the doggy bag hot. It's hot. And you call him buddy because he wasn't nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went out with him. He was so dry. Like, I'm finna eat this. This was good. I'm finna call him. So it's like you're emotional. You can't remember why it really ended. So it's the emotional roller coaster makes you forget the reality of why it's over. and you try to just like you're focusing on the good things and how he made you feel good. And then the first thing when y'all do talk, y'all argue. You like, see, you ain't even got no money. Or just what?
she look, she coming from a whole different world, y'all.
I'm just playing y'all's jokes a little bit.
But that's when you start seeing the haircuts. A lot of women cut their hair and turn their hair like fire red. And I mean, the weight loss, the weight gain, all the pictures on Instagram. I'm at the gym chilling, you working out for that time because you don't go back to the gym no more. We just start picking up different things that we're, just trying to survive. And it's just a time of, you're just really trying to survive. It doesn't matter, what you do, you're trying to survive. You're trying to date. I think it was Monique that said, date them all, sir. Date them all. You don't
Why
have to
not?
sleep with them all, but date them all. So you're really just trying
Free
to keep
food.
busy doing that emotional thing. And then women, like she's saying, free food. I'm telling you, my sister said she went on a date with a guy because she was going through the emotional thing. She went went on a date. She ordered the good food. She went to the restroom. She didn't come back to the table. I said, you are so wrong. But it was just free food. And women are doing that. And she said she think he saw her going out. She jumped in her car. She started hallucinating. Then she didn't really see him. She's just scared because of what she did. But that emotional roller coaster will put you through some things. So instead of properly healing, we just start bouncing around.
Yeah. Y'all women, y'all stop that.
No, I mean,
really need to stop.
Let me tell you something. If somebody say, let me take you out to dinner, I don't meet nobody that, well, I'm married now, but if somebody say you want to take me out to dinner, I'm going to meet you for lunch. We're going to eat lunch. I'm going to order dinner to go, and I'm going to call you while I'm eating it. Because you want to take me out to dinner. I'm not going to let you hold up my time at night in person. You see? Because I don't know you like that. But I'm going to help you do what you said you wanted to do because you want to take me out to dinner.
Just wrong is what
That's not wrong. I'm helping. That's what he said he want to do.
Wrong. They're wrong.
Eat lunch and order dinner?
Girl, you gotta order. So when they come back and ask for dessert. You ask for the menu and you just put all that in for to go.
Yeah. Let me, Coach. Let me say something about this whole getting free food real quick because I know that's not the topic for tonight. When women have the experience that they have dating a man who dates them forever and doesn't choose them or takes forever to choose them, this is part of the reason why, Coach. Because men are taking their time to see if she there for something other than what she said. Women don't like to hear this kinds of feedback, but you and I work and listen and talk with the fellas all the time, and there's a bunch of reasons why they taking forever to choose. And one of the reasons is because they looking to see if she trying to pull the okie doke. Is she really going to be throwing it back on a regular basis, or is she just talking a good game? Is she really here to get to know me, or is she here for the money? So here's what I'm gonna say to all my sisters who's listening, because I know Coach brings in a lot of ladies watching all the time. Ladies, if you going out, have a good time. Don't go out with nobody you aren't genuinely interested in. Big Mama used to put it this way: what goes around comes around, baby. There's a very well written proverb that says, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall you also reap.
Preach that.
My name is O. Thank y'all for hearing my heart. It's been a good TED Talk.
Okay, can I please respond to that? First of all, let me just say I was 19 when I was doing stuff like that. And I was very hurt. I'm an adult now. I wouldn't do that as an adult woman because a lot of people feel like you owe them like a key to your house if they buy you a $4 drink in 2022. So I would suggest that you do that now. Okay? This is something that happened a long time ago. But also this is why women always lead with, I got my own money, because a lot of men will try to treat you like you're a bugaboo. And so it's like, okay, if you're going to treat me like a bugaboo, I'm going to be a bugaboo and I'm going to be full.
It goes
And I
both
don't care
ways.
about you. I don't like you. You asked me to go out to eat, and I don't even want to talk to you. So yeah, I'm gonna let you feed me. Like that's the logic. It's like I don't care if you pick me or not. I don't care. I don't like you. I'm hungry. So if it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like people who do that don't care. They're not trying to get picked. If you're trying to get picked, you're not gonna do that. That's what you do when you don't care. And he ugly, he fat, he old, his breath stain. You like, sir, I got you already know what this is.
Yeah,
You
I hear
already know
your
I'm not
heart, and
ready to deal with you. You know you
I
got to
hear your
I mean,
heart. You're right.
you know you
You're
got to
right.
do a lot to get with me.
Yeah,
But I'm
you're
not there
right.
anymore because God has delivered me.
Yeah.
Oh, we
God
thank
has
him. We
delivered me.
thank him for deliverance. We thank him for deliverance. Here's the challenge, though. A lot of the brothers who are saying this, they're not all old, fat, and ugly. It's some
Okay.
good-looking brothers going through this very same thing.
See that now now it ain't about how they look. It's just about the woman's interest in him. It's like if she's not interested,
Exactly.
she'll do you like that. She'll do you like that if she don't
Hmm.
care about you. So if
Mm,
she doing you like that, so just get her somebody face who might not look as good as her. Somebody that like you back. Don't worry about how she looks. See, let's talk about why the man be trying. See, you get tried because you looking at her. Oh, she's so sexy, fine. I want to be seen with her, and she like, sir, even though you cute, you ain't her cute though. And she
Can I
anyway.
get to the talk for the night?
That is definitely a hot topic. We got to come back to that one. There's
Yes.
much more to be said. I think it really just speaks to our issue in our community when it comes to the dating altogether, because it is these kinds of dysfunctional things that we're talking about that has led to this downfall that we experience in our community when it comes to love and relationship. Because there's a lot of us out
Yes.
here single, looking for love, complaining about the dating pool, not realizing that we are contributing with our own toxicity.
Fact. All right, let me get let me get to the number 6 on this list of is this number 6? Let me look. No, I'm sorry, this is number 7. Number 7. We have finally got down to number 7 on the list. And number 7 on the list of the 7 stages after a breakup is acceptance. We have finally gotten to acceptance. The last and final phase following a breakup is acceptance. The stage when you fully come to terms with the reality and decide to move on. Black man, move on. Finally, your
Yeah.
your thoughts may be like, I understand why we got together, why we aren't together now, and it's time to move on. The stage of a breakup makes all of the other phases worth it. It gives you that sense of exhalation. You are able to realize what the future holds. Acceptance. What y'all think?
This is my favorite one. My favorite stage. I told y'all earlier I was open. I kept it hot with you. I was honest, open, and transparent. I shared with you that I've been in the denial stage before. When I got to acceptance, baby, I was free. When I got to acceptance, I was good.
Thank
I got
God.
to acceptance and I went back to the gym. I got to acceptance and I started going back to church. I was past the depression. I got past the depression. Now I can go back to church, start living my best life again. And so I think that when you get to the acceptance stage, man or woman, it's a beautiful thing because you feel free, you feel liberated. You're no longer weighted down by all of the thoughts that you were having previously about the last relationship. And so, you know, I'm using that acceptance to find new relationships and things like that. And I think that that's what people really need to be doing after they have taken the time to properly heal and process their lost relationship. So I think it's a super dope thing.
Yeah. Those are the same steps, well, almost the same steps as the stages of grief.
Mhm.
So, in comparison to the stages of grief, all except for the emotional part. And I think that that's not a part of the stages of grief, but it also is a part that a person goes through when they lose a loved one, like a physical death. But those stages are the same. It begins with denial and it ends with acceptance. And
Mm.
as my brother was saying, that acceptance is one of the most beautiful stages because that's when you, after you reassess your whole entire life, you're ready to put yourself together again. And just like myself, getting back in the church, getting back and doing the things that I usually would do, and just filtering out everything that it wasn't me anyway. So acceptance is a beautiful state.
Yes.
Time to fly.
Have you ever been at the acceptance stage while you're in a relationship before you even break up with them? It's like, I accept that this is
Yeah.
not working, and
Mm,
I'm so over it. Like, I have to just help them understand where I'm at with it. You know,
yeah.
like I have seen people go through, like, announce a divorce, but they have been absent for at least 2 years. Like, they're like, oh, I'm good. It's like, oh my God, girl, I'm sorry. They're like, oh, okay. And it's like, okay, you know, they have already gone through all of that inside the relationship.
Mm,
So it's like, I think that's a good way to leave a relationship. Like you already have the peace, so that when it's really over, you can actually just enjoy your time to yourself. It's
yeah.
kind of like there's no fighting, and that's how you know you're not going to rebound. So I'm just gonna make that make sense of why I brought it up. If you are already accepting everything, you've already gone through all of this stuff inside the relationship. When it's done, you and your acceptance, there's no rebound.
Mm, fact. Fact. Yeah. You know what? It reminded me of what Marion was just saying about the stages of death. This being comparison to stages of death, right? And and Sayuri, what you just said about it being over already, people who have already come to terms with it already, that reminds me of a person who's dying slowly. Right, you might have that loved one, and y'all have made, you made your peace. The person is like, okay, I'm ready to go, and you've had that grieving period, and and you're good, and everybody comes up to you, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, and you're like, no, it was time for them to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's that way in relationships. It was time for them to go, so I just released them and let them go. That was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was.
I'm a,
That was beautiful. Yeah, and sometimes it be like that. You just release them and let them go. And I think that a lot of times it is normal for only one person to have done that. A lot of times when a breakup occurs, one person has really been thinking about, processing about, planning about letting the other person go for a while, which is how they got to
Yeah.
acceptance. And the other person is just in shock, which is the first stage, or in denial, because they have not had the opportunity to sit and think about the relationship being over. And so, generally, one person, when that happens, generally only one person experiences that acceptance. But sometimes, on some rare occasions, for people who have been together for years and years, sometimes two people can sit together and say, you know what, I realize that this is over as well. And they are at the acceptance stage. But my experience has been that generally, even with couples who have been dating for years and years and together they're at the acceptance phase, they still have to go through all the other stages. And they just go through those stages after the relationship is ended because all of the other stages are necessary and I would go as far as to say inevitable.
yeah, yeah. So look, I got an answer for that person who asked how long. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask y'all first, and then I'm gonna tell you what the answer that I researched and came up with. So you guys could just jump in. How long does it take a person to get over a relationship,
Mm.
a relationship breakup? How long does it take? Days? How long should this lady who asked this question? How long should she wait? Days? Months?
Should she wait?
Years?
Did you ask that question again?
How long should
Uh-huh.
you wait before getting? I should ask it. How long should you wait before getting into a new relationship so that you're not going in um and having a rebound situation?
After you finish those stages, honey. That's the stages. I mean, when you get to acceptance, you're ready to move on to somebody else without taking your baggage with you.
Yeah,
That's my
I have a hard time giving a. I like my sister's answer. I have a hard time giving a solid answer because I think that each of us goes through those stages differently, and each of our situations can be different. So it depends on how long you dated the last person, how traumatic the last relationship with the last person was, uh,
Mhm.
how much support that person has moving on. Those kinds of things make a difference. But generally speaking, in my opinion, you need a good 6 to 8 months to move on from a relationship. I would even go as far as to say a year,
a year.
depending on the specifics of their last relationship.
Yeah, good stuff. Check out this comment from D. D Hike said, once you accept, take time, get healed and whole before moving into a new relationship, we can accept but still not be fully healed. Without total healing, the residue of the past relationship can still be on you and pose a problem for future connection.
And that's what I was gonna say. Think about being with somebody for 10 years and saying it'll only take 8 months to get over it. Like I don't know, like you said, like I have a hard time putting a time limit on it, but just knowing that like when you're in something, you have to like develop new habits. You have to like break old thought processes. Like you think about all of the inside jokes and just the rhythm that you have been able to move in, for so long with somebody else. Um, how long will it take you to forget? Not forget, but just actually develop your own movements, develop your own rhythm, develop your own um preferences. Like you always are used to just going along with what somebody else is telling you. What you want to eat? Whatever you say, I'm good. And so now you got to figure out what you're gonna do. And it's like it takes time to actually figure that out. And so depending on, like you were saying, like just the person's trauma, like their trauma story, like if they had a certain childhood, they're not going to be able to do that as fast as somebody who had a healthy childhood or were in healthy relationships. If it was a good breakup where everybody just came to terms and it was like you're still friends with the person, or still like you didn't have any, like it wasn't a traumatizing breakup, like violent, or they didn't try to destroy your life, or it's like it's so many different things, and it depends on what kind of breakup you went through. I really believe that if it was something that was very violent, it's going to really affect you to the point where you're going to need some mental health help, support, and recovery. You're going to have to recover some of your mental health because you're not well mentally if you were in a situation where you had to survive it. And it's I don't even know, and everybody goes through stuff differently. Like some people get punched in the face and forget, and other people get hit on the kneecap and can't forget. So I don't know.
Yes. So look, there was a consumer poll done they did market research, and it was done by Yelp. And the poll results suggest that on average, it takes about 3.5 months to heal, while recovering after divorce, it might take up to 1.5 years, a year and a half, if not longer. So essentially, it comes back to what we said. After you finish you go through the stages. If you go through the stages, and as somebody mentioned earlier, some people go through the stages earlier, quicker and faster, depending on your end of the breakup. Much faster than others. But I can get with at least 3 months. I mean that sounds reasonable to me. At least 3 months before you're ready to get back out into the dating market. What y'all think?
I
Okay.
mean, i- if you moving on faster than 3 months, I have to question, was the relationship even a relationship at all?
There's a lot of psychos. Like they didn't care about nobody. Like they just like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm good. Like they
Yeah,
they
I
they
mean,
didn't put their, like they're not emotionally invested enough. Some people are so they've been through stuff and they don't put their emotions out there because they want to be prepared for this.
Yeah.
well, what I mean when I say that is, for generally speaking, a healthy person. I'm not talking about psychos and people who spent the whole relationship preparing for the breakup. I'm talking about people who, who are dating and it's time to move on. If you're moving on faster than 3 months and you are a healthy, well, mentally stable person,
Mm.
I would question whether or not the relationship that you're moving on from was even a romantic relationship at all, because there are certain things that just happen in a relationship that require time to move on from.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
One other thing I wanted to just say on that is that I've learned that it matters what that person has invested in you,
Mhm.
or that you all have invested together. Because if you're with a guy for years or a female for years, and you're the one that's done all the investing, all the giving, if you're connected to a taker, it's kind of easy to walk on. Once you've gotten to that stage of I'm done, it's kind of easy because you can't miss what you never had.
Mhm.
It's not like, oh, I'm used to him paying my bills, when he's not been paying them. I'm used to him picking me up from work when he's never been there. He was just at the house, he was just present. So
Mhm.
it matters what they've invested in the relationship,
Mhm.
because you won't miss them when they're gone because they've never been anything.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. And so I think as we kind of wind this conversation up tonight, you know, this is this is a great topic. It's a fun topic. It's a serious thing, that some people are really going through, and there's somebody who may watch this and look. And by the way, Tanisha, yes, this is a weekly show. she said this is good. Y'all should do this more often. Yeah, it is a weekly show every Monday. But I think that we have to have these conversations in our community, y'all,
Yeah.
because for so long, people just sit and they just eat these feelings, and they act out. They don't go and they don't talk to anybody. They don't have an outlet, for a healthy outlet. So they grab the only outlet they know, the bottle. They grab the only outlet they know. They go get high. They grab the only outlet they know, anger. They skip right on down to anger and go out there and do something that ruins everybody's life, and everyone loses. So we have to have these conversations in our communities to. Look, she said on a network. Well, talk that talk then.
Prophesy, ma'am.
Yeah, I receive it. But
Yes, God.
yeah, this is because this is important. There's a lot of people who are quietly living lives of desperation, quiet desperation.
I think you left out sex too. Like people just like having like casual, a lot of sex,
We'll
meaningless.
talk about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, like because of the the hormones and the chemicals and you know, the things that it produces in your body and your brain, it's a good feeling. So you become addicted to that good feeling, and then you are using people to feel good, and they're thinking that means something, but you're like it means nothing to you. Like a lot of people, and then even women are doing that too. But that I don't no strings attached. Don't call me. It's like it's something that you put in place to make sure that you're not being hurt in the future, but you're actually in so much pain now. You're trying to numb it, or you're trying to,
Yeah.
but you actually end up transferring it. You actually hurt other people trying to like numb it, or just act like it's not happening instead of taking the time to put the energy into healing. A lot of people don't know how to heal. Like, it's like, what does that even look like? What does healing from a relationship look like? We don't talk about that.
Oh,
We just say heal. We don't know what that is. What is healing? What do you mean? I don't care no more. Oh, I don't care now. I'm healed. So it's like, people just skip past, like they're trying to skip past and act like they're at a place so that people won't um, look down on them or like feel sorry for them, and not being honest with themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem in our community, which makes us drink and eat and do
Mhm.
drugs and then have
Yeah.
sex. So it's like a cycle.
Yes, yes, yes. All of that trying to fill an empty hole that still empty when you finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Go ahead. Oh,
I was just gonna say, I think you and I have experienced it enough with the fellas to know that one of the reasons why some men are as sexually involved as they are is because of a lack of healing and using sex as a way to cope with a lot of other unaddressed issues and challenges in their personal lives. And so, yeah, I agree with my sister. I think that sex is definitely one of the coping strategies people use, but especially men when it comes to moving on to new relationships and rebounding. Uh, One of the ways that they do it is through sex, using
Yeah.
sex as a coping strategy to push away all the other feelings that they haven't addressed, to push away the rejection and the disappointment and the frustration from that relationship ending. They have sex because it is very much like a drug.
Yes, yes, yes. It's soothing. It's a release. It's all those things. It's connection, but not really.
Mhm.
It's all those.
Yeah. And then like when depending on if you with like an immature female, like she feels like, well, because I made you feel good, we together. Or because I made you feel good, I'm for you. Like I'm here for you. Like they
Yeah,
make it mean way more than it meant to the guy.
yeah,
And a lot of women get hurt by giving themselves because when a man is expressing that, well, what made me feel better? Sex will make me feel better. It's like, okay, well, if I do that and I make you feel better, then you should choose me, or you're gonna choose me, or you're gonna pick me. But it's not. They're not looking for a relationship to go after the sex. The sex is the goal, and they don't get it.
yeah. Facts, facts.
And then they got it already, and it's like, well, what happened? It's like it's over. They're gone.
So I did a TikTok. This whole conversation actually came from I did a TikTok about this, and I encouraged women to allow men to heal. Because see, I had to say it like that. Allow men to heal. Because this whole bounce thing, this is almost just what we do as men. Like we leave one and go on to the next and on to the next, and sometimes we just need that time. A man, especially when a man, especially like let's say divorces, he definitely needs that time to reset. You know, because when you've been a father in the father husband role for a long, especially if you've been in it for a long time, like you don't even know how to be anything else. Okay, if you've been a husband, you don't really look. I don't care if you was even a bad husband. You don't know how to do anything else. You might know how to tip out, but you always tip back in. But once there's no more need to tip back in, who are you outside of those roles? And a guy really has to have that time to reset and kind of get his bearings. But sometimes some of the women, they've been single so long and waiting for a long time. They're like, hey, this is just what I've been waiting for. Come on, brother.
Yeah.
And not just giving him the time that he needs. She cracking up.
It's the hand rub. It's the clap and the hand rub for me.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
true. They be like, come on, brother. Let's get it.
Mhm.
We ain't got no time to waste. I need to make some babies. And hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah. So especially for our guys, men definitely need that time to reset and make a good decision on who's going to be right.
Is he okay? Okay.
He laughing.
Look, Renee said that's desperate though. Men don't know about that. It's
That
that
thing took me out.
wanted. That's what men care about.
I don't get it. What's desperate? You talking about the women being desperate?
Yes, she's talking about the women being desperate.
I mean, you don't know no desperate women? Oh, they out here.
Oh yeah.
The desperate
They're
women is out
desperate.
Thirsty.
That's the word.
I think we there's a lot of people who are thirsty, longing for love and relationships. So the sisters is out here, as as Coach said. Hey,
Ain't nobody gonna be able to clap their hands and rub no more in front of me without me.
But then they call it the Lord. They say, look what God. Look at God.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Look who God has brought into my life.
look at that.
Hey.
Especially when he in that husband mode. It's like you can be my husband, but you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You used to paying a bill. Here go a bill, boo.
You
What
know
are
what?
you talking about?
Quiet as it's kept. If people ask me who's the guy that you should look for, if you marriageable and you looking for a good man, who should you look for? And I always say a divorced man, a guy who's been married before. He understands the role. Look, he's almost like a shoe that's been he's like a orange shoe.
I
Now,
mean, we got to look at the marriage. What kind of marriage was it? What was you? I need to know. I need
That's
to know what the
scary.
what kind
That's
of her,
scary.
what kind of husband was you? What kind of husband is you gonna be?
right?
We
A
finna
horrible
get that.
shoe.
You said,
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't want to wore out you. You know,
That's
you
what
mad
I'm
because
saying.
she did it all, and then you gonna get with me and tell me what I ain't gonna do because well, I ain't gonna do that no more. It's like, wait a minute, I don't even know all what you were doing. You know, it's
Mm.
okay, and they
I'm
be traumatized sometimes.
look,
The divorced husband, they be a little traumatized.
sometimes it's easy to me. It's easier to train a man who's already been trained. He's already been equipped. He just gotta, but that's easier said than done.
I gotta know what type of
I'm
person
not.
I don't know. It's too many different types of husbands out here.
Think a brother
I
who's
coach
been
you.
none of it. He got to start from square one. He could be. That just depends on the woman. All of it depends.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You
What we
surprised me
say?
with that one, Coach. I was just gonna say you surprised me with that one. I've never heard anybody say that. Sisters,
I'm
listen.
telling you.
If you're looking for a good man, find one that's been divorced. I think I get the crux of what you're trying to say though, and I think
Mhm,
that there is some truth to that, which is a man who's been divorced has a lot of experience,
mhm,
and he's had the opportunity to learn some lessons
mhm.
that that can allow him to be a viable candidate that a man who is unmarried and never been married uh, doesn't necessarily have. I think that's the crux of what you're trying to say,
I like that.
and I can understand what you're saying when you say that, when you put it like that. But when you simply say find you a divorced man, uh, because he like a shoe that's been worn several times. When you put it like that, it just
Amen.
sounds like,
I
oh,
would say
coach.
a widower, somebody who was there to the very end, maybe, a widower, somebody who was faithful and there and down, and he ain't divorced, but he was there, but she not there no more. And then,
Or
maybe
God
you wanna,
forbid, or God forbid they weren't married for very long. She just happened to pass away early on in the
yeah,
marriage.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then he aspires to finish what he wish he could have had. That's perfect. That's a man right there. That's the man you want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know a guy like that. One of my friends, his mother passed away, and the guy who was her husband, they hadn't been married for a long time because his wife before that died. My boy's mom passed away, and my dude was on to the next one in like 6 7 months. He was back being married again. He was just, and he was a good guy. He had a good man with a good pension, right? And he just enjoyed female just having partnership and be able to go places, and and so he missed that, and he needed that for himself, you know what I mean? So he was often married again in like 6 or 7 months, and people had their eyebrow up, but say, you know what, he was free and clear, and he went and found somebody who wanted what he wanted, so moved on.
Yeah, bro.
Don't hate. I'm not hating on that.
Yeah. All right,
I
y'all.
ain't mad at it.
Look. So let's wrap this up, y'all. So give me your last thought on this topic of the rebound situation, rebound relationships, the breakup, the comeback. Tell me your last thought, and then tell the folks how they can follow you, how they can find you guys on social.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I will. I hear y'all. So my last take on the rebound part is just men and women. Just be careful. Um, If our coach can put up those steps, go through those steps and learn about the person. If they want to rush a relationship, then that's a red flag. Some people say they love you so early, and I've even been on dating sites where one man told me, I know you're the person I want to be with. I'm like, I'm running because you don't even know me. I could be, Jeffrey Dahmer's little sister. You don't even know me like that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, time is gonna, situations will make you wish you had taken your time to get to know people. Just get to know them. And if they're on a rebound, trust me, if you're not cooperating with them within a week or two, then they're gonna jump on anyway. And it's best that they jump on, even if they have so much to offer. Like some men have their own places, their own everything, and they're still, connected to their baby mom or some another woman. Just be careful. Do an assessment. Learn all you can before you even let them know where you live. Listen, you'll wish you had her. So I am Marion Newman. I'm only on the Facebook channel, but I am a chef and I am a mental health therapist. And it was just awesome being on here tonight. And I enjoyed the panel. It's like I already know you all. And thank you, Kevin, so much for having me tonight.
Yes, man. Marion, I didn't know you was a chef. Stop playing.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your best dish?
My best dish, well, here in Mississippi, everybody loves catfish.
Oh,
So, one of the most popular sellers here is our catfish, and we do stuffed catfish. We stuff the catfish and we serve it with spinach, a salad, a nice salad, and that's one of our biggest sellers here in Mississippi, stuffed catfish with salad.
stuffed catfish. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Good stuff. Brother. Oh,
So here's what I would say to our audience and anyone who might catch the replay. Listen, if you are ending a relationship and the relationship has come to an end and you're thinking about moving on to someone else, I want to challenge you to take some time to yourself, sit with yourself, think about the things that happened in that relationship. Don't rush into the next relationship, but give yourself the opportunity to recover from the last relationship. It is possible to have love, to lose it, and to be fortunate enough to find love again. But when we fail to do that, taking the time that it needs to heal, when we fail to take that time, we put ourselves in a situation where we unfortunately perpetuate the same cycle and we have to go through loss of relationship over again. So that's my word of encouragement. My name is Olamont Roberson. I am a trained mental health professional. I'm also the published author of one book entitled Love Nuggets. You can find a copy of my book on Amazon, or you can reach out to me directly on Instagram and all social media platforms at OLR Speaks. Once again, that's at OLR Speaks. My name is O. Thank you all so much for this great conversation, Troy. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to the next conversation.
yes, sir. Siri.
I want to just start by saying I appreciate you for reaching out. It's been a while since I even been on Facebook, and even when I met you, it was a while. It was before COVID, so thanks for reaching out to me. I'm grateful to have experienced so much healing in my life to where I can commiserate with a lot of the stuff that was said today. But as far as being in a rebound situation, if you have certain standards that you're dating with and you're using and you have protocols that you're living by, it's certain stuff that just won't affect you. It won't get to you. When you have some time frames that people have to meet, or if you start seeing certain behaviors that like, if you have your deal breakers in place, like, okay, if you're doing this, no, just hard nose and just looking out for red flags, you can't save yourself a lot of stress and a lot of trouble by sticking to boundaries, healthy boundaries, and knowing what your standards are. And I'm not saying make it so hard where people can't talk to you, but just understanding that nobody can just drag you along. And this is what being in a rebound to me is: somebody just dragging you through whatever they're dealing with. They're gonna drag you over here. Well, I'm not really for you. You just with me. And wherever I go, you'll be there. And when I drop you, I'm gonna drop you off. So I think that it's important to have standards. So men and women, men, your bodies are valuable. Don't be passing yourself around like that. That's not okay to do. It's not cute. And women, of course, everybody talk about the woman value your body, but everybody, keep yourself and like my brother Lamont say, hey, take the time to be by yourself and heal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's scary. It's scary. It can be frightening to sit with yourself and hear the things, but that's a good time to get close to God too. So I would encourage you to do that, and so that you are a whole person. So when you meet another person, you'll let them meet a whole person instead of a fractional person. So my name is Sayuri Smith Timmons. My website is sayuri.biz. I am an executive consultant to nonprofit organizations, helping women transition out of sex work and also do career development. I'm the author of 7 books and a curriculum called From Trap to Triumph. And I am so excited to be connecting to some more organizations coming up here in 2023. Stay tuned. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. And I'm praying for y'all. Because it's hard to be in a rebound. It's hard being out here dating. I'm married, so I just thank God for that. But I'm praying for everybody that's not. And they want to be in a relationship. It's hard.
Yes. Good stuff. So look, as we transition and we get out of here, I pulled up the definition of rebound, and it's just perfect for this, right? Rebound means to bounce back through the air after hitting a hard surface or object. And there's somebody who hit a hard surface in a relationship. You hit rejection, you hit hurt, you hit pain, you hit emotional roller coaster and all of that stuff. But I want to tell you to keep going. Because at the end of it, like Marion said, the beginning is denial and the ending is acceptance. When you get to that acceptance point, you can just understand, you know what? Life is not over just because the relationship is over. Maybe, just maybe, your life is actually just beginning. It feels like a death, but you know what? Sometimes some things got to die for other things to come alive.
Go ahead and preach. Come on, sir. Come on.
Okay. Sometimes that's just the way it has to be. And so go through it. Like, don't hop on to the next person. Fellas, don't hop on to the next lady. I know she wants you. I know she thick. I know I know she round just how you like it. But no. Look, it's not worth it. Just take the time to get you right. And when you get you right, everything else will be right. You guys can make sure y'all hit that like button wherever you're watching this. I need you to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe on YouTube. You'll be notified every time we do these shows. We out here building, y'all. We just chopping away. I grabbed my friends. I haven't look. I figured this out, y'all. This platform is how I get to see y'all again. Look, me and we was on Clubhouse. I met O on Clubhouse, and we was on Clubhouse every day during the pandemic. Like every day, we was faithfully for hours upon hours. And Marion, like all of us, we all connected. Sayuri, me and Sayuri was on a panel. A few years ago, and but look, when I connect to good people, I hold on to them. And I'm so appreciative that you guys came on. So, all right, everybody, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Until next time, peace and love. Hit that like button. Follow all the folks on the stage, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.